Today we're revealing some interesting and surprising facts about Ralph Lauren, one of the most popular labels that has made a major impact on the fashion industry. In 1967, Ralph Lauren founded the Ralph Lauren Corporation in New York. In 1969, Ralph Lauren's men's line took off after Bloomingdale's New York agreed to sell it exclusively. In 1971, he debuted his Polo Player logo and a line of tailored shirts for women, opening on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills in 1971. It was his first store. A Ralph Lauren store debuted in London, England in 1981, marking the company's first foray into international commerce. In 1997, Ralph Lauren went public on the New York Stock Exchange, bringing in $767 million. Ralph Lauren Purple Label, RL, Polo Ralph Lauren Children, Lauren by Ralph Lauren, Lauren Home, and Chaps are just some of the brands that are now part of the Polo Ralph Lauren company. And more than 450 Polo Ralph Lauren stores can be found in countries all over the globe. We are inspired by the rapid rise to prominence that Ralph Lauren has achieved in the world of high fashion despite the brand's relatively short history. Let's learn more about the history of this thriving American business and its founder. 15 interesting facts about Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren was born Ralph Rubin Lifeshitz. Ralph's parents immigrated to the Bronx, New York City in 1939 from Belarus. Ralph's full name was Ralph Rubin Lifeshitz, which was also the name of their family. Ralph and his brothers probably got picked on a lot for having last names that sounded like Lifeshitz. That's why Ralph's older brother, back when he was in high school, legally changed his name to Lauren, and Ralph made the same choice. The term polo may not be used by the United States Polo Association. Ralph Lauren bought the polo name from Norman Hilton in the early 1970s and promptly trademarked it so heavily that only his brand could use the word polo. This is why the US Polo Association, the sports governing body, is prohibited from using the term polo on any of its merchandise. The use of polo player figures is also prohibited because it would be too similar to the iconic polo player logo. Ralph Lauren even shut down a magazine named Polo that was dedicated to the polo sport in 1999, but a court reversed that decision in 2001. The Great Gatsby, which was released in 1974, is largely responsible for Ralph Lauren's meteoric rise to fame. Ralph Lauren was hired to be in charge of the wardrobe for the 1974 Robert Redford classic The Great Gatsby, 3 years after opening his first store in Beverly Hills. While most of the male actors wore pieces from Ralph Lauren's polo collection, Redford wore a custom-made pink suit that Ralph Lauren created for him to wear in his role as Jay Gatsby. Ralph Lauren bought Club Monaco for $52 million. In the late 1980s, Canadian brand Club Monaco started to grow into the higher echelons of fashion and become renowned for its affordable luxury lifestyle. After noticing Club Monaco's rising popularity, fashion mogul Ralph Lauren purchased the Canadian company for $52.2 million in 1999. As Club Monaco's fame and fortune have increased, it has provided an alternative way of life to the average American. The influence of Ralph Lauren can be seen in the rebranding of the Wimbledon logo. Ralph Lauren entered into an agreement with Wimbledon in 2006 to redesign the uniforms and provide clothing for all of the event's personnel, including ballboys, court judges, and others. He was the first designer to take on this role officially, and the Wimbledon directives decided to redesign the logo to include the designer's name. The polo shirt predates Ralph Lauren's time. Although Ralph Lauren's polo brand and the 17 different colored polo shirts with which he launched the brand made the polo style shirt popular, Ralph Lauren did not invent the polo shirt. René Lacoste, a professional tennis player, came up with it in 1926. Lacoste created a new loose-knit cotton shirt because he was sick of the stiff and inflexible materials used to make tennis whites at the time. He debuted the shirt at the 1926 US Open, and by 1927 was using the crocodile as a trademark on all of his garments. Ralph Lauren has 3 dining establishments under his belt. Aside from being one of the most successful fashion designers in the world, Ralph Lauren has branched out into the restaurant business. With the Polo Bar in New York, Ralph's in Paris, and RL in Chicago, these eateries offer a wide variety of menu options and successfully capture the brand's ethos of sophistication, class, and luxury. When asked about his favorite item, Ralph Lauren mentioned the warm corned beef sandwich available at the Polo Bar. Ralph Lauren started out as a Thai vendor outside of Wall Street. Before becoming world famous, Ralph Lauren was a humble Thai vendor selling his fashion designs out of a drawer on Wall Street. Almost immediately, he won the hearts of his clientele, who were primarily made up of workers from the nearby financial institutions, and business took off. Ralph Lauren debuted the Polo Tech shirt at the 2014 US Open. Black compression tee with a yellow Polo player logo is the Polo Tech shirt. A small device, hidden beneath the logo, rests against the wearer's ribcage and is linked to a network of silver-coated thread woven throughout the shirt. This thread tracks the wearer's heart rate, breathing, and stress levels and sends the information to a computer or mobile app in real time. After being tried out by the Ball Boys at the 2014 US Open, the shirts eventually went on sale in 2015 for $295. Ralph Lauren owns a priceless car collection. Ralph Lauren has a collection of rare and expensive automobiles. With over 70 cars, this collection boasts some vehicles that are priceless and rare. The Bugatti 57 SC Atlantics, the most expensive item in his collection at $40 million, is just one example. The entire car's body was crafted by hand, making this Bugatti one of only 4 ever produced. Ralph Lauren has said that the focus of this line is on the art rather than the automobile, and he has some sentimental cars as well. When he couldn't afford the maintenance costs, he had to sell his first car, a Morgan made in Britain. He later repurchased the vehicle and now has it parked next to other high-end makes. In 1994, Goldman Sachs bought 28% of Polo Ralph Lauren. In 1994, Goldman Sachs, an investment firm, paid $135 million for a 28% stake in Polo Ralph Lauren, making them the first outsider to do so. Ralph Lauren and his business partner, Peter Strom, had previously owned 90% of the company and 10% respectively before this investment. He was the first designer to release a fragrance for men and a fragrance for women at the same time. Ralph Lauren's first fragrances were released in 1978, and they were sold exclusively at Bloomingdale's. The original perfumes were named Polo for men and Lauren for women. This was the first time a designer had introduced a fragrance for both men and women at the same time. From 2008 until 2020, Ralph Lauren will be the sole provider of parade attire for US Olympic teams. This means that Ralph Lauren is responsible for creating the official outfits for the US teams to wear during the opening and closing ceremony parades, as well as providing a range of village wear apparel and accessories. In order to help preserve a historic flag, Ralph Lauren gave $13 million to the Smithsonian Institution. When Francis Scott Key was writing the lyrics to the Star-Spangled Banner, the American national anthem, Ralph Lauren donated $13 million to help restore and preserve the 1813 flag that served as his inspiration. His donation went towards repairing the flag so it could be displayed at the National Museum of American History in Washington, D.C., as well as funding preservation work. Ralph Lauren resigned after retiring as CEO at the age of 75 in 2015. Lauren hired Old Navy executive Stephen Lawson to take over, but the two quickly fell out over creative differences, and Lawson resigned 18 months later. Lauren has a hard time trusting anyone else with his baby, the company, but he's going to try again with the new CEO he hired in 2017. Former Procter & Gamble executive Patrice Louvet. Even at the ripe old age of 75, Ralph Lauren is still very hands-on, working at the company 4 days a week and exercising full creative control in his roles as Chief Creative Officer and Executive Chairman. Now that you know more about Ralph Lauren, I'm curious if you think the company will survive without him at the helm. Please share your thoughts in the section below.